Hello everybody, and welcome back to another World of Tanks video. Today we are taking a look at one of my own replays, and I'm in my Panther 88. And unfortunately I'm on a tier 10 match. Now this always makes me sad when I'm in a tier 10 match in my tier 8 machines. I always feel like tier 10s are just that little bit better because they need to be the big boys, you know, they're the best tanks in the game, so I always feel like they're just that little bit better than you would otherwise expect from a step up in tier, so to say. But maybe that's just me. But anyway, being in a tier 8 in the tier 10 world is never a lot of fun, or at least I find it difficult to deal with. But luckily I'm in my Panther 88. Now, why do I like the Panther 88 so much? It's not the fastest of mediums, but it has a very nice view range and the gun is very reliable. The soft stats are good and the accuracy is good. It also has nice DPM. The armor is okay, but that's not really going to help me out that much in a tier 10 match. Hold on, let me fix the screen here. There we go. And yeah, but I'm basically going to play as a bit of a scout tank here, and I'm going to try and spot anybody trying to make their way up into the magic bush. For any of you that don't know, on E1 there's a bush that a lot of light tanks like to get to. And I'm going to try to find my own little magic bush here. I get spotted by the bulldog, I'm falling back for this. And I'm just basically working this mid-ridge and waiting for my opportunities. I'm a low tier tank here, so I can't really force anything, and this is a campy map to begin with. Now luckily the Batchat takes out the bulldog right at the start. It's always unfortunate when something like this happens. To your light tank that is, but as it is I can shoot at this object 140 and I set him on fire, and luckily for me he burns to death. And that's a very juicy amount of damage to get out of one shell, so nice start to the match, and it's also a very important tank to take out. Now we know more or less for certain that the enemy don't have anybody spotting the one line, which is a very important thing to do. Now I'm making my way a little bit more towards middle because that was the reason I was sticking around there to begin with. I wanted to know for sure that nothing was in that bush, and I'm fairly certain that that was actually my spot there on the object 140. Might have been the AMX 1375. Was also in a good position there, but as it is, I feel like that was my spot. I have some very good view range on the Panther 88. Anyway, I see this STB-1 moving up, and I'm trying to work with him here. Try to support him and use the room he's generating. So I'm noticing that on the enemy team I can actually see everything on the flank there. Decide to focus the M50 as it's the more mobile tank. Sadly I don't notice the IS-3 here. At least that the turret was turned, so that costs me 350 health. Get a little bit lucky with that, that's a low roll for the IS-3. But yeah, as we saw earlier on in this match, luck is not a rare thing for me this match. Anyway, loads and loads of tanks already dying all over the place, and I see my opportunity to spot a few tanks again. I spot the E50 again, try to take a little bit of a snapshot at him. That's something this gun does alright in, snapshotting. Notice the E3, check to see if he is pointing his gun towards me. Looks like he isn't. He's more than busy with the STB-1. Try to take a shot, unfortunately it bounces. And yeah, I have to wait now again. It would have been nice to just be able to push through, but again my tank is just not big and powerful enough to deal with it. I'm noticing this E50 is coming for me, so I'm falling back. I see what he's doing in advance, so I can get out before it becomes a problem. And I'm out. I'm going to try to see where my next opportunity is. Maybe the Rheinmetall balls of the Rheinmetall was able to help me, the Waffenträger and the Jagdtiger, but as it is, I felt that that would be a little bit too dangerous. In my top tier tank I would definitely have done this, but as it is, I didn't. Now that shot was completely out of render distance, so far it was away, yet when I fired it I was reasonably certain that it would fly through. Which makes me a very happy man actually. Because yeah, that's why I love this tank so much. I'm able to put shells downrange with such accuracy, and it doesn't take long for this gun to aim. It's the great strength of the Panther 88. Together with its view range and the soft stats, it's just not that mobile, which is why a lot of people don't really like it that much. Now I bounce one shell, unfortunately what I believe to be the IS-7 takes a shot at me and does a fair bit of damage. A gold shell as well, so some APCR. I think it was actually more or less destined for the T110E5. That can be a tricky tank to pen down range. But I decided this is not my fight and I'm going to reposition again to a different position where I can help out the team again. I can try and outsnipe an IS-7 and a T-34 that are up on that hill, but as it is, that's not very likely that I'm able to achieve it. Now they're spotted again, but then again, if I were to try and shoot at them, they would instantly know I'm still there and go to try and shoot at me again. This E3 is more or less stuffed already, so I don't really need to do too much, but as it is, I can put a few soft shells in and I don't really feel like wasting the premium on it. Fortunately that shell flies low and flies into the mound. That one bounces. I'm getting a bit unlucky with these shots, but to be fair I can't really complain about luck. Now notice the lure on the other side of the map. Here I notice him as well. Well, he's getting, well, pretty much destroyed really. Missed the first shell when I'm trying to snipe through the rails here. Just watch that shot. It's going to fly through eventually, if I remember correctly. There we go. Perfectly through the rails. That's just Panther 88 accuracy for you. The guy's at the absolute edge of my render distance, or my render distance by spotting distance. I am actually spotting him. You can't really tell by the because the ribbons aren't popping up, but that was my my spotting. And I'm able to put shells down into the underneath the train tracks and into his tank, which is just some amazing shooting if I do say so myself. And quite frankly, it's only possible due to the tank's high accuracy. Otherwise I would never have been able to pen that tank. By the way, that last shot on the IS-7, I'm pretty sure that didn't pen. The turret of the IS-7 is difficult enough to pen with high, well, with tier 10 tank destroyers, let alone with the Panther 88. So here you go, you actually get to see the Panther 88 in this natural environment where it's, well, quite frankly, really powerful. Even though there was a tier 10 match, I got to use the tank where it's good. I didn't have to use its mobility too much. I did get to use its spotting range, and I got to use its very nice gun with very nice soft stats as well. So now we're just going to dig out the last enemy tank, which I expect to be somewhere in this general vicinity. You see me here doubting which bush he'll be in. I'll eventually get it right, and I see that it's over there. Able to put in one shell, and he dies before the next shell lands. So yeah, that was the match. So here we are on the post-game stats, and this was an ace tanker, which surprised me a little bit because, well, I didn't do that much damage myself. 2383, which is very nice, but also in a large part due to the damage I did to this Object 140. Granted, I was the one spotting him, as we can see here. But yeah, the fire was of course very nice. He would have died either way and I would have gotten the spotting damage for it, but the fire definitely helped. Now, the reason I got an ace is because I got over 3000 assistance damage, which is very nice indeed, and it did actually help out my team. That IS-3 was blocking anybody on the mid-ridge from doing anything useful. Anytime we would, anybody there would poke up, the guys at the hill would be able to shoot back at us, as we saw when I poked there and the IS-3 spotted us. So that was an important one to take out, and yeah, I spotted him apparently when taking him out. And this lure I also was apparently spotting, so that one got taken out, though I must admit that this was not the most important tank to die. By then we had won the match. But this Object 140 in the IS-3 was very important kills. The IS-7 I just helped out a bit, not much more. Maybe I helped him freak out, so to say, so that there was all kinds of shots coming in, decided to pull back. That did eventually get him killed, pulling back. Maybe he would have done better by pushing over, but to be fair, he had a lot of guns shooting at him from the other side and he had to do something, so this IS-7 did what he could. It was the mid-range where they lost the war. Lost the war. A little bit dramatic. Lost the battle, so to say. And when we take a look, we can actually see we did rather well. I was apparently, as far as experience goes, the main contributing factor on that mid-range, which surprises me slightly, because yeah, I wasn't the only mid or medium tank that was, well, around that general area to help out, and some of them were tier 10 and tier 9, so I wasn't expecting to do this much, but to be fair, the Panther 88 has a very nice view range and a very nice DPM, so yeah, even though I was bottom tier here by a fair margin, I mean tier 10s I always feel like just that little bit better than you would normally expect from a one step up, so to say. But yeah, I did well. I'm very pleased with the performance of myself in this match. Didn't try to force any situations. I played with the team and got out on top. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a like and I'll see you for the next one.